Good morning, friends. Welcome to the counseling session on the mock test paper of the subject
Recording in progress.
Strategic Financial Management, paper 2 CA final level. I, CA Ashish Gupta, Deputy Director of Board of Studies, will take up this session. Student, I hope now your exams are nearby, so you must have been thorough with your syllabus. And you are now in just winding up mode. Student, of course, you have important tips so that you can avoid the errors and could avoid losing the unnecessary marks. Now, student, before I proceed further, I have received 2 or 3 queries. So first I read out the query, then of course during our discussion all the queries will be resolved. Now the student is Brender Narayan Panda. He is writing, sir, I was doing institute's recorded class, CA Divas Gupta Divas sir class are not understandable. Student, it will be better if you could contact me over the telephone. I will share my number in the end of the session, and you could discuss with me where exactly you are facing the problem. Because Divas sir feedback is very good, and even on our student has requested from the last session that they should be continued, and we have also requested him to continue to take the sessions. Now Garima Rana is asking, sir, help me score exemption. Of course, student, this is a scoring marks paper. However, you have to attempt it strategically. There will be not an issue because this paper is very basic, common sense paper. I will say it is not a formula based paper because there are rumors that this is a formula based paper. But student, please note, hardly there are 2 or 3 formulas in this paper, and complete paper is based on your common sense. Okay, very simple paper. And Manoshi Jan is asking, sir, I am able to solve MTP 70%, evaluate my performance. Student, of course, MTP is a kind of, you can say, practice, or you can say net practice for your main examination. But still, I will prefer you just take care in the examination, and whatever the tips I will share with you, you take care in your mind, keep it in your mind while attempting the question paper. Of course, you will get the exemption. So, student, let us start our discussion. Now, student, of course, I will discuss each and every topic of the question paper. But before that, I would like to do some quick revision, or you can say these are some key points that you need to take care. Now, first of all, I start with the what is the nature of this paper? Student, it is a number game paper, and of course it is a very scoring. And normally what happens, the student who are you can say weak, or they are less interested in the theoretical paper, this is a boon for them for making the aggregate. So you have to take care, this is a calculation based paper. Now the duration of the paper is 3 hours. Of course 15 minutes reading time is there. The marks is 100. We can say that, student, it is this paper is basically an extension of the FM paper that you have studied at your intermediate level. Now at intermediate level, basically the FM paper basically consists of the making student clear about the fundamentals of the basic financial management. बच्चों को वो ये क्लियर कराया जाता है इंटरमीडिएट के फाइनेंशियल मैनेजमेंट के इंटरमीडिएट फाइनेंशियल मैनेजमेंट पेपर पे कि फाइनेंशियल मैनेजमेंट का बेसिक क्या है. स्टूडेंट, आई मे बी यूजिंग द हिंदी इन बिटवीन, बट डोंट वरी, whatever I will discuss in the Hindi, that I already covered in the English also. So nothing will be covered in Hindi that is not covered in English. So everything will be covered in English very well. So it is very important, you should be thorough with the basic concepts of the financial management. What are the basic concepts of financial management? This is time value of money, cost of capital, and capital budgeting. So these are some decisions, basics of the FM that you have to be thorough with the same. Of course, I cannot say you will start reading your FM paper now, of course, but you have a fair idea of the concept that we have discussed at the FM paper at intermediate level. Now, very important, Framework of the syllabus is very important. Student, not for the SFM, even for the other papers, I will advise you should be a thorough idea of the framework of the syllabus. Because what happens to the papers that are normally the base first thing that we provide is a syllabus. Okay, so from syllabus, the paper setter came to know exactly what is the nature of the questions I have to frame. So this is very important. Now next is this paper is basically a strategic decision making paper, as the paper name indicates, strategic financial management. So here the topics are there like merger acquisition, okay, international financial management, derivatives, hedging, risk management. All these are your strategic decision making topics. So it is very important that you should be understand that now you are you can say you are dealing with a subject that is covered at the top level of the management. Next thing, the 80% paper is numerical and 20% is theoretical. Of course, theory, and why it is important? Because it is more important for the students who are coming from the old scheme. In the old scheme, there was a one numerical, normally there was one question in the end, that is in a choice, which is consist of a complete theoretical question. But in the current existing scheme, with every numerical question, two numerical questions, one theoretical question has been attached that you have seen in the mock test itself. So it is very important that you cannot skip the theory portion at all. You have to be very conscious. And one more important point. Normally in a YouTube, etc., some people are saying that these are some theoretical topics. These are numerical topics. Please note that it is a paper setter's freedom. They can test the theoretical questions even from the numerical topics also. So even you can be asked theoretical questions from the forex, from the derivative, from the mutual fund. It is paper setter's freedom. Of course, there are theoretical topics are there, but it is paper setter's freedom. We cannot restrict it. They want to test the student in any manner. They can test it. Of course, they have to test within the preview of the syllabus and the level of the knowledge that is expected from the final level student. Now, more important, as I discussed, don't ignore the theory. No, don't skip any topic. It is more important. It is very important that you should not skip any topic. Why? Because sometimes what happens, you have seen the mock test. In a mock test, every question is consisting of 3 subparts. 2 subpart numerical, 1 subpart is theoretical. Now it may be possible that if you have skipped any topic, so first part you may be very well known, but second part you don't have any idea to even to write, or you start beginning of the question. So in that case, you are losing unnecessary. You are losing your command on a question unnecessarily. You are losing it the same. Your USB, for some topic you may have some USB, but what happens? USB, but you are losing that because of this reason. Now, very important, there are nothing kind of an amendment in this paper, because normally 1 or 2 times I have received a call, sir, is there any amendment in this paper? No, student, there is, unlike your law or income tax, there are nothing like of amendment in this paper. However, you should be well versed with the contemporary topics. It is very important. Now, what are the contemporary topics? Now, I say that student, you should have an idea about SPAC. SPAC, what is special purpose acquisition companies? These are the new concepts. Now, student, you should also have an idea that the LIBOR is no more. Okay, LIBOR has been demised on the 1st January 2022. Of course, there are some derivative contracts are there that are allowed up to only June 2023. But there is an article in your student newsletter in the January issue where you can see that there is a complete coverage of the shifting of the LIBOR. From LIBOR, we are shifting to the alternative reference rates. Like for there are SOFR, Sonia, Ester, okay, Estonia. So these are some rates are there. Okay, you can go through that. So you should have an idea of the contemporary development. Now, I just give you very simple example, more example. Now, today in the newspaper, I was reading in Economic Times, there was a news regarding demerger of the Mahindra and Mahindra division. What they are doing, they are separating three divisions: electronic vehicle, utility vehicle, sport utility vehicle, and tractor division. So they are dividing three units into separate companies. So this is a kind of demerger. So you should have what are the contemporary developments are taking place in the India as well as worldwide. Similarly, you should have an idea of startup finance. So all these are, you should be thorough with the contemporary development. Now, very important, no mugging up of the question. Student, has been normally seen that so students are normally mug up the questions. Oh, I will do this. I have mug up the 100 questions, 200 questions. Student, please note, the question papers can be set anyway. They are set to test your conceptual knowledge. And in this regard, I will give you the example. July 2021 old scheme question paper is an exemplar in this regard. Not even a single question was from the practice manual. However, all the questions were conceptual and nothing was out of syllabus. Student, there were hue and cry, everything was out of syllabus, everything. No, it was not out of syllabus. Only the new questions have been tested. So you should be thorough with the conceptual understanding of a concept, not the cramming of the questions, because same questions rarely comes. Of course, they come, then it gives you a very comfort zone, but please don't expect to do this. And very important, on the sport solution. Sometimes student says, sir, करे कराए question नहीं आते कई बारी. They are not questions that we have already covered. Student, please note, you are trained here. You are made chartered accountant to deal with you are expected to give a on the spot solution. Of course, when you will become a chartered accountant after some time, you will become the CF of a company. Now, here as a CF of a company, you are supposed to take care of the problems that are rare. Okay, problem if regular problems you are dealing, then you are not you can expect a CFO to do that. CFO normally deal with the problem that are rarely, that are sudden. So as a CFO, you are trained to deal with the situation on the spot solution, and that is expected in examination also. In the examination, if the new question comes, so you have to find the on the spot solution. And this new question is for the all student fraternity, is not only for a single student. So that you have to take care. And one more important, if you suppose if FR paper is there and there is some problem with this paper, so please don't let the bad whatever that you are moved or etc. on this paper. So leave apart whatever has been happened in the FR paper. Student, before I move further, let me check I have received any query or not. One second. Only. Yeah, I received it. Of course, we have not received any query. And Vidula Yogesh Deshpande saying, good morning, sir. Good morning, Vidula. Thanks a lot. And I hope this session will be more beneficial to you. Okay, students. Now I am coming to each topic of your study material as well as your syllabus. Now, student, this is the study material. Okay, this is the study material that you need to refer. And this is the edition is October 2021. Okay, the reprints may be there because I having the reprint January 2022, but this is the edition that is has been written relevant for May 2022 examination and onwards. Okay, so student, you will have to refer this material. Of course, any student who is referring old material, no problem. We have provided a sheet containing significant change in it, where that you can download from the website and continue to refer the old edition. So it hardly matters. So please don't get confused. If I have referred the previous study material, then I will face no student. There is nothing amendment like thing. So don't worry. Okay, I am just sharing with you because you can refer this study material. Now, student, I am coming to the topic one. So first of all, the topic one is basically a theoretical topic. Okay, of course, it is a theoretical topic, but 1 or 2 times numerical questions have been asked also. And you can refer our classes from the YouTube also, where we have covered 1 or 2 numerical topics from this session also. Next is the risk management. Student, it is very important topic now because once what is risk? If I say you before COVID-19 problem, the risk management was there, but it was normally used to be considered as a we can say as a compliance requirement. But post COVID-19, what happened? This risk management has become a very important aspect in the strategic financial management also. Why it has become so important? Because now the companies has recognized not only they have to comply with the risk requirement, but they have to prepare themselves strategically to meet the risk. Of course, risk cannot be avoided. Okay, business means you have to take the risk. Okay, risk is everywhere. Risk is pervasive. Even I am driving my scooter. I am carrying a risk. Okay, because around 2 months back, I have met a small accident, and there was a fracture in my toe, in left leg toe. So I was carrying a risk, of course. But so what happens? We are carrying everyone is taking the risk. So, but we have to manage it profitably. Okay, there is a risk return reward trade-off. Of course, so we see what are the various kinds of a risk. Now, since it is a strategic financial management paper, here our you can say we are putting insistence on the various financial risks and how we hedge the financial risk. That is normally covered in the forthcoming chapters. Now, third topic is the security analysis. Now, in the security analysis, what happens? It is based broadly, you can say to some extent, it is a theoretical topic. However, some formula relating to technical analysis has been covered there. Now, what happens, student? This theoretical topic is important from 2 angles. First, it prepares you a background for the next topic, that is security valuation. And second thing, this topic basically give you an idea from where exactly the market starts. Because what happens, security analysis consists of one topic very important, that is called EIC analysis, economy, industry and company analysis. Because whenever any foreign company or investment banker wants to pump in the money in they want to say, I want to invest in India. So of course, they will look for an economy. So they will carry out economy analysis. Okay, now after they have identified an economy where, okay, they say maybe I will go to investment for in India. Now question arises, what is an emerging sector? What is an emerging industry? This is called for the industry analysis. Once they have identified the industry, now next they say which company we need to invest. Okay, so now they will say, okay, of course I will invest my money in this company. So this is called fundamental analysis. This is a part of the fundamental. Now, technical analysis and fundamental analysis are 2 aspects of the overall security analysis. Now, while the fundamental analysis on a long-term basis, because normally the company invests in the company share for the long-term basis. On the contrary, in the technical analysis, the duration, or we can say the vision, is very short. Technical analysts make the profit from the short-term movement. Okay, they don't worry about what, they don't go by the balance sheet or the fundamentals of the company. they go with the market, what is going in the market. Okay, they want to earn the money with the market. Okay, so there are some techniques like resistance level. There are some diagrams are there where we identify whether the market is in a bull phase or bear phase and what course of action we have to take. So all this, of course, technical analysis is a very wide topic. Okay, because everyone has their own theory and we cannot provide you the exhaustive material there. Of course, there is a brief discussion or brief small discussion are there. Okay, so you not to advance with the very too much. And more important, student, when this is my disclaimer normally, whenever you study the SFM, please don't indulge yourself in the market. Okay, to understand the this subject, don't do indulge yourself in the trading. Okay, so it is very important. Don't you should not go for the trading, etc., derivative, etc., because all these are you can do it once you qualify your exam, but you have to do the same right now. Okay, because this is you have to clear your examination. Now, next it comes the topic of the security valuation. Now, student, very important. If you recall that the topic you have covered in your intermediate, the topic was cost of capital. Now, student, you can say it is the reverse of this topic. How it is reverse of this topic? Because there you are given the, suppose if you find the cost of equity. So there you are provided with the dividend, you are provided with the growth, you are provided with the share price. On that basis, you are expected to calculate the cost of equity. Now, in this topic, it is a reverse way. How it is reverse way? यहाँ पर ये उल्टा है और यहाँ पर कैसे उल्टा है? आपको इंटरमीडिएट लेवल में फाइनेंशियल मैनेजमेंट के पेपर में कॉस्ट ऑफ इक्विटी निकालने के लिए अगर कहा जाता था तो आपके पास डिविडेंड होता था, ग्रोथ होती थी और शेयर की प्राइस होती थी और आपसे कहा था कि कॉस्ट ऑफ इक्विटी फाइंड आउट करो. नाउ हियर इट विल बी रिवर्स्ड. Here you will be provided with the dividend, you will be provided with the growth, you will be provided with the cost of equity, okay, or expectation of the equity shareholder, that is cost of equity, but you are supposed to find out the justified price. Got it? आपको यहाँ पे क्या मिलेगा? यहाँ आपको डिविडेंड मिलेगा, उसकी ग्रोथ मिलेगी और आपको कॉस्ट ऑफ इक्विटी या डिविडेंड की एक्सपेक्टेड आप एक कह सकते हैं अंशधारी की एक्सपेक्टेशंस क्या होती हैं या उसका उम्मीद क्या है, उसके बेस पे आपने कॉस्ट ऑफ इक्विटी आपको दे रखी है. अब आपको क्या देना कि उसकी जस्टिफाइड प्राइस, ओके, प्राइस कितनी उसकी ठीक रहेगी वो आपको इसमें तय करना होगा. So similarly, here you can also given the yield of the debenture, yield of the bond, and you are expected to find the value of the bond. यहाँ पे आपको बॉन्ड की यील्ड दे दी जाएगी और आपसे कहा जाएगा कि आप इसकी वैल्यू निकालिए, जबकि वहां पे आपका इक्विटी एफएम में आप क्या करते थे कि आपके पास बॉन्ड की सारी वैल्यूज होती थी, कितने पे इशू करा, कितने पे ब्याज मिलेगा और कितना आपका रिडम्पशन होगी और उसके बाद आपसे कहा गया था कि आप उसकी कॉस्ट ऑफ डेट निकालिए, बिकॉज यू हैव टू सपोज वेयर एट द इंटरमीडिएट लेवल यू आर प्रोवाइडेड विद द price of the bond, redemption of the bond and the interest payment, then you are expected to find the cost of debt. आपका यहाँ पे now here you are provided with the yield, that is cost of debt, and you are expected to find out the what should be the issue price that is justified. यहाँ पर क्या है, आपको डिविडेंड डिबेंचर की कॉस्ट बता दी जाएगी और आपसे कहा जाएगा कि आप ये निकालिए कि कितनी प्राइस जस्टिफाइड है. ये इस part है इसमें. Now student, very important, in the bond valuation there is another topic has been covered, that is called Macaulay duration. Okay, this is very one of the important point, and another important aspect is the yield curve. एक yield curve की discussion भी है इस topic में और वो बड़ी important है. Now student, why it is important? Now student, if you are reading the newspaper, there was some hint, because there are three shapes of the yield curve broadly. One is flat yield curve, there is no change in the yield. Either you go for a short-term security or you go for a long-term security. Okay, now there is another upward sloping yield curve. It means the securities or the bonds for the shorter duration carrying the lesser rate of interest. Okay, so there is an inward yield curve, means the longer duration curve bonds are carrying the lower rate of interest. Now, whenever there is a inverted shape of yield curve, it is an indication of a recession. And recently, what has happened in the US market, Federal Reserve, the inverted yield curve was there, and it was a matter of worry. And some economists were saying, "Oh, it is an indicator of the recession." Of course, every economy is trying that they should not be inverted yield curve. So all these aspects have been covered there. Now, next topic is portfolio management. Portfolio management, of course, a combination of the securities. Combination of the various securities and various aspects have been covered. That is how we determine the return, now how we determine the risk, etc. All have been covered, and there are some theories, etc. There are some diagrammatic presentation also, so you should be thorough with that. Now, next topic is coming securitization. Now, student, it is very important because we can say that 2007-8 prime crisis, 2008 crisis was due to this securitization. Because what happens, securitization is nothing, you can say that bundling and rebundling of the securities debts into the securities. Because, and it is a very interesting topic, and it is a current topic, it is a contemporary topic. Now, the many companies are resorting to this securitization process for raising the funds. Now, next it becomes the topic of the this is the topic derivative analysis. Now, sorry, mutual fund. Sorry, next topic is a mutual fund. Now, mutual fund means basically the pooling of the money. Okay, because what happens, mutual fund is very important nowadays also, because as per the data, recently in the COVID time, there were the investors in the mutual fund scheme has become manifold. So it is very important what is the concept of mutual fund has been discussed, and some terms have been discussed in the mutual fund like tracking error, etc. So all these concepts are very important. This topic is both theoretical as well as numerical topic. Now next it comes a derivative. Now student, it is one of the very important topic, because why? Because when we talk about the derivative, of course, chapter number 8 is basically concerned with the stock and index derivatives. But when we talk about the derivative, this subject, this topic also throws a light on the basics of the derivative concept also. How? Because from the derivative, what are the various derivative techniques like forward, future, option, and swap? These four are the parts of the derivative. So basic discussion have been covered here for the forward, future, and options. So all these, of course, here the underlying is the stock or index, but the coverage on the same has also been in the done in the foreign exchange risk management topic also. So student, this topic is very important from the numerical as well as theoretical point of view. There are some theoretical questions can also be formed from there. Now next topic comes up foreign exchange exposure and risk management. Here, this is another aspect of the you can say financial risk. So here we shall discuss how we can hedge the foreign exchange risk. The various techniques have been covered in this topic, and normally I have seen that the students, since their basic concepts are not clear. Now here, student normally ask the question, sir, what is very common doubt? Sir, up to how many decimal points we have to take the quotation? Now student, it is a very simple method. Up to how many decimal points in the question quotations have been considered, you go by the same. Okay, and if in the question if it has been mentioned that FIDI guidelines have been followed. So please note that you have to round off your decimal point 0.0025. So it is very important. So this topic is very important from examination as well as practical point of view also. Now next comes the international financial management. Now student, we can say it is a combination of financial management that you have discussed studied at the intermediate level plus their international aspect. So that's why it is called international financial management. Here the main insistence or the main, you can say, focus is on the capital budgeting in the international scenario, because where we say to a company nowadays, most of the companies are the global companies. Even MNCs are investing in India. Even that we are also going out. Our companies, Indian companies, are also investing worldwide. Now here, of course, whenever any capex project is there, capital expenditure project is there. So of course, financial management topic is that you have discussed at final level, intermediate level, that it provides the basis to decide whether we should go for the project or not. But once we cross the border, then we have to see whether we have to how we have to take care of the foreign exchange risk, because it is involved another country's currency also. So here the two topics are very important. One is your simple capital budgeting aspect, another is your international financial aspect also. So here capital budgeting questions are there, and there is another, how we can raise the funds. For this there is a concept of the GDR, okay, global deposit receipt, ADR, American deposit receipts. Even numerical questions have been covered there. So this is very important topic from your strategic angle also, and normally even interview question you can be asked a question. Now next is a topic, interest rate risk management. Now of course this topic was earlier maybe, and we cannot say that much of importance, but now because in India the bond market is in, you can say, development phase. It is sorry, it is not that much dynamic as in Europe. However, it is in nascent stage. But with the changing interest rate scenario, the interest rate risk management is very important. Why it is interest rate risk management? Because suppose if I say the fixed, if yours, I just will give you a very small example. Suppose you have invested the money at 8% for 5 years. 1 lakh rupee you have invested. Now suppose tomorrow the rate of interest are increased to 10%, sorry. So now if you go invest the money, you will get the 10%. Now whatever the investment you are carrying, if you go and sell in the market, so person will not pay you the par value, because he will not get the 10% rate of interest, he will get the 8% of interest. For this 2% loss, he will pay you the less money. So this is a kind of an interest rate risk. Now how we hedge the interest rate risk? Because hedging of the interest rate risk is very important, especially from the banker's point of view, because they are ultimately the buyer of interest and the seller of interest. So whatever they earn from the gap. They earn from the gap basis. This is called basis point. Okay, whatever the difference between. So because they borrow at less, they lend the money at higher, and this basis is their earning. So it is very important how they manage this interest rate risk. This has been covered in the interest rate risk management. And interest rate risk management is not important from the banker's point of view. It is also important from the large corporate houses point of view, because normally what happens, they have to see, they have issued the bonds. Now they have to see whether with the changing of the bonds, they have to change, because even they can go for a decision that we should refund old bonds and issue the new bonds. Okay, so all this has been covered here. Now next topic is the corporate valuation. Now, topic 4 was security valuation. Now, here, when we are investing in the company, so we invest the securities, we value the securities. But what happens when strategically we have to acquire a company? Now, question comes, of course, we shall pay. We can pay by the cash, or we can pay by the shares of our own company. But now, question rises, how much we should pay for the same? So corporate valuation, this topic is based on. So now there are techniques like earning based, cash flow based, asset based. So broadly, these are categories. Of course, you have some idea of this topic at your paper financial reporting there, but here there may be some difference because here normally we are more focused on the financial and strategic aspect. And more important, there are some contemporary development that have taken place in the field of valuation, like economic value added, market value added, share value added, shareholders value added. So all these are topics that are also being covered here. Now next topic is, second last topic is your merger acquisition. This is merger acquisition topic is basically what means how you have to, you can say you have to discuss with what are the various aspects of the merger. Now, student, please note, merger acquisition, corporate restructuring. Basically, the corporate restructuring is also the part of the same. Now, this corporate restructuring can shape two ways. Now, merger acquisition is once you acquire a company, okay, you form another company, it is called merger. Once you acquire the company and continue with the existing company, it is called acquisition. But now it is even the divestitures or the demerger is another important strategic aspect. As I have discussed with you, the Mahindra and Mahindra's companies, their division, and even around, say, I recall that somewhere around in February or maybe in the January, February, there was a demerger of the Summi Motherson also. They have also divided their company into two parts. So please remember, nowadays not only the merger spree is there, the merger spree is also been there, has been noticed. Okay, so there can be a different reasons for the demergers also. So this topic is also very important because it involves how you will exchange the ratio so that there should be a win-win situation for the both companies. Okay, student. Now last topic is the startup finance. Purely it is a kind of, you can say it is a theoretical topic and some aspects of the, because since it is a new topic and nowadays it is a very important because you can say startup finance is a kind of a non-traditional source of finance because till now we have seen that our syllabus are covers normally your traditional topics like debenture, bond, equity, etc. But startup finance is totally non-traditional now, and most of the companies are going for the same. They are away with the traditional source because they involve a lot of compliances. Whereas for the startup finance, the getting funding is quite easy, but it is not that much easy. They have to make preparation for the same. So what are these preparation like? Pitch presentation, all these aspects have been covered. What are the stages of the financing? All this has been covered here. So student, broadly this has been the coverage of the syllabus. Now I hope let me check whether I received any query. Okay, student. Now I am coming to the question paper mock test. Screen visible है? Share कर. Now, student, here you can see this question paper. This is a group 1. Okay, paper 2. The topic is strategic financial management. Now, please see, please student, whenever, please note that whenever you go to any examination, it is very important that first of all you read the instructions. Of course, there may be a set pattern that question number 1 is compulsory and attempt any 4 from the question from the remaining. But student, please note that always advisable that please read the instructions carefully. There may be some additional instructions may be given. Okay, so first question is compulsory. Now I am coming to question number 1. Now this question is basically the 1 second. This question is basically from the topic foreign exchange risk management. Okay. Now, student, please note in this mock test, I have taken the most of the question from your study material as well as from your past examination. Now, here in this question, you have been asked because you are an this is a exporter. This is and he has sent the goods outside. Now, question comes. These are the currency rates are there, so you have to recommend. Now I will discuss with this what is exactly this recommend word. Now student, here I have broadened, we can say I have bolded this recommended word. Why? Because now there is now in the news in your scheme there is a insistence, there is a focus on the verb that is normal use. So when we say about the recommend, what does the recommend means? You should understand what exactly meaning by the recommend. Now here the recommend means proposing a course of action, advising the appropriate action to pursue in terms of the so that the one can understand. So it is very important. I think screen share. हाँ वही मेरे को लग रहा है डेस्कटॉप तो ओपन बोर्ड क्लिक कीजिए डेस्कटॉप कंट्रोल विंडो डी पर एक मिनट वो शेयरिंग करने पड़ेंगे नहीं कोई नहीं आप देखना आ जाए लेकिन स्टॉप शेयरिंग कर लो पहले Sharing as you are sharing. आगे ना बोर्ड आ रहा है तो नो प्रॉब्लम ठीक है ना आई थिंक मैं इसी पे कर लेता हूँ इसी पे फाइल में खुलने में दिक्कत आ रही है शो एज डेस्कटॉप करेंगे तो फाइल भी खुल जाएगी अच्छा शो एज डेस्कटॉप पे 1 मिनट ठीक है ठीक है ना वन मिनट ठीक है ऐसे चलते हैं ठीक है now this question is basically for the now if we talk about the question number first B now in this question student you please note it down what I have done ये erase क्यों नहीं हो रहा है ये टिक करना है इरेजर पर टिक करके पेन से हां पेन से करना जो पेन है ना पेन से इरेजर पे सेलेक्ट करके अच्छा पेन से करो हाँ पेन नहीं ये पुराने वाला नहीं जा रहा ये फिक्स हो गया ओके एनीवे चलो कोई बात नहीं now here please student note that what I have done I have deliberately converted this question is from your old examination now here what I have done I have redrafted the question in this manner okay so this is an important aspect here you have to note it down now here we have asked to explain the main risk that has been faced by the overseas investor this is purely a risk theoretical question now when we come to question number 2A of course this is an old question from your study material but however here the 4 to 5 points are there and you have been asked only for the we have been asked for the 2 points only now next week discuss the topic of this is your Sensex how we make the call that is how we you can say making the marking to market this topic concept is based on the same of course your question number 2A is a chapter related to your chapter number 14 that is last chapter and now when we come to the question number 3A this is also question from your past examination but here important point that you will asked to make the convexity adjustment okay this is the main point here now this next question is from your mutual fund topic whenever any in the mutual fund student topic you have to see what are the instructions you have to follow so now here it has been mentioned there has been a diminution of 20% so it is very important point you have to see here you have to calculate next is your explain now we come to the question number 4A right? This is your theoretical numerical topic that is relating to your forex so here you have to advise which options the importer should go for so that the cash outflow is the least next question is from your mutual fund here you have to calculate you have to show your calculation calculate means you have to show and advise means you have to advise okay so it is very important here next is your topic question number 4C is from the topic this is startup finance question number 5A from your mutual fund sorry portfolio management here you have to show the risk return trade-off means of course in the course that is question from your practice study material here what I have done instead of you and asking the what is the return or what is the risk of the each of the securities, you have to show it by the risk return trade-off, and you have been supposed to carry out the coefficient of variation analysis. This is a question on a GDR. Here it is very simple. You have to calculate the GDR to be issued and advise which whether to accept the offer or not. Next is theoretical question from the securitization, and you need to explain the various because here the question is not straightforward. Here a single line has been given from a para, and so accordingly you are supposed to answer related points to this para. This is the technique. Similarly, here also I have given netting helps in minimizing the total value of the intercompany fund flows. So this is one of the advantage. Accordingly, on that basis, you have to explain the term netting. Now, student, this is one of the very important question. This is merger acquisition, because here there are bank case. So here the question is quite consisting of 3 to 4 points. But what I have done, I have converted into 2 points. One is you have prepare the balance sheet after merger, and you have to analyze the merger from the capital adequacy ratio and gross non-performing asset angle. So this is a one. Next topic is the question is very simple. You have to just calculate the payoff profile of a pay option holder, and then it comes explain how to measure the divergence of the. Now here this is a question is relating to tracking error, but here there is no hint that you have to answer the tracking error, because if you have knowledge of this line, that is divergence or the deviation of return of a mutual fund from the benchmark it replicate. So it is from the you get it from the tracking error. So you should have a knowledge of this concept. Only then you can write the theoretical answer. So student, with this I have covered the discussion on this. Now let me see whether I have received any query. Otherwise, one second. अच्छा शेयरिंग आ रही है, ये भी आ रहा है? अच्छा ठीक है, कोई क्वेरी नहीं कर दी मैंने. Okay student, with this I hope the counseling session must be very helpful to you, and if you have any query, still I am just sharing my email ID as well as my phone number. You can contact me there. One second, I'm just sharing the screen. Just ठीक, नहीं मैंने तो हटा दिया इसको. Okay, now student, हाँ plain board आ रहा है. Now email ID is sfm-final@ici.in. Okay student, or even you can contact me over the telephone. Number is 0120 3045 956. So even you can contact me over the telephone, or you can send me the query. Now since the time is left very less, so I would advise please don't waste your time in writing the long email etc. You can just contact me over the telephone. Okay, student. Now prepare well. All the best for your examination, and I hope that after 3 months you will come with the flying colors that you have become the chartered accountant. Okay, student. Once again, I thank you all for patience listening. Have a nice day. Thanks a lot.